Well, hello and welcome to the Shallow Proclamation. My name is Paul, and as always, I'm joined by
Thomas.
and we're about to watch episode 6 of Genesis of the Daleks. This is it. This is the big finish.
Big finish.
Absolutely. It's been brilliant so far. We're going to hope it's going to stick the landing. Will Thomas's predictions come true? Davros will be defeated, but one Dalek will slip away. We'll see. All will be revealed in the next 22 and a half minutes.
Yes.
Now this is good stuff now.
Just touch these two strands together, and the Daleks are finished.
Go on.
Have I that right?
To destroy the Daleks, you can't doubt it.
But I do. You see, some things could be better with the Daleks. Many future worlds will become allies just because of their fear of the Daleks.
Oh, that's
it isn't
interesting.
like that.
But the final responsibility is mine. Mine alone. Listen, if someone who knew the future pointed out a child to you and told you that that child would grow up totally evil, to be a ruthless dictator who would destroy millions of lives, could you then kill that child?
We're talking about the Daleks.
I mean,
the most evil creatures
not only is that brilliant, but it brilliantly comes full circle in the Capaldi era, doesn't it?
It does.
Where he meets Davros as a child.
As a kid, yeah. And at first he doesn't want to rescue him, and then he does. That's very clever. So that was a callback to this. Wow. To think how simple it would have been. Just two little wires.
Everybody is here, Davros.
Yeah, it shows the character of the Doctor, doesn't it?
And just how things are not as obviously black and white.
Yeah. Such a slimy man, isn't he?
Yes. Such a good portrayal. It's brilliant character.
Yeah.
Production will continue.
Nida down.
Eider down. Special duvet. A Nida down duvet.
Yes. The Scaro bedding.
Genesis of the Daleks merchandise.
Nida down.
You must obey me. I created you. I am the master, not you. I.
Our programming does not permit us to acknowledge that any creature is superior to the Daleks.
You cannot exist without me. You cannot progress.
We are programmed to survive. We have the ability to develop in any way necessary to ensure that survival. Main exit blocked by explosion for a length of at least 1,000 yards.
Those men are scientists. They can help you. Let them live. Have pity.
Pity. I have no understanding of the word. It is not registered in my vocabulary bank. Exterminate!
For the last time, I am your creator. You must, you will obey me.
We obey no one. We are the superior beings. Exterminate! We are entombed, but we live on. This is only the beginning. We will prepare. We will grow stronger. When the time is right, we will emerge and take our rightful place as the supreme power of the universe!
Goodbye,
Well,
Brendan.
Davros down.
Goodbye.
First part of my prediction has come true.
Yep, very good.
Hands on the time ring.
You don't seem too
Maybe
disappointed.
more than one Dalek will
Failed.
slip through the net.
Haven't we?
Failed? No, not really. You see, I know that although the Daleks will create havoc and destruction for millions of years, I know also that out of their evil must come something good.
Wow. Amazing how it had that kind of twinkly, almost fairy tale music at the end.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
the Doctor's narration. I know that somehow good must come.
Yeah,
Wow.
so what are your thoughts there then?
Yeah, and I was almost right, wasn't I?
You weren't far
Davros,
off.
Davros killed, and yeah, a lot of Daleks survive actually. But I'm intrigued by that because, yeah, I genuinely don't know whether or not he's going to return again in the classic era before we eventually see him return in the modern era. Although I seem to remember David Tennant's line to him about "I saw you get sucked into some." I don't know, the fate that he seemed to describe Davros suffering seemed to be a different one to what we saw here. So I wonder if he's gonna, and you know, of course, but I'm just speculating. I wonder if he will return again in the modern era, sorry, the classic era, because he is a great villain, and it seems
Right.
like, yeah, almost sort of master level. It would seem a strange choice to not to have kind of written him out entirely. But yeah, it definitely seemed like he was killed, didn't it? He was shot with a Dalek blaster.
Yeah.
That was that was probably my highlight of the episode actually, just the sense of his own creation turning against him, and he had written into their programming the very thing that meant they killed him, that they accept no higher authority than themselves, effectively.
You have no authority.
So
Yeah.
that was brilliant. Quite an abrupt end with the Doctor and companions sort of getting whisked away there, but
It's another story that doesn't feature the TARDIS at all.
yes,
So
indeed.
we've not had the TARDIS for. Is it in Ark in Space? I'm not even sure it appears in Ark in Space, does it? Are they just there? Or
So
is
they
it in the
didn't-
background somewhere? They don't go in the TARDIS, do they?
They
It's
didn't.
definitely not in Sontaran Experiment.
Yeah, no, exactly. They definitely didn't tick that particular police box. So, but yeah, no, a very enjoyable story. What about you?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a classic, isn't it? And obviously, I knew where it was heading with Davros and what happens to him there. Um, I quite like the idea that's been sort of thrown around that Dalek, the one that's speaking at the end, the one that's sort of almost taking leadership, is actually the Dalek that goes on to become the Emperor.
Oh, interesting. Yeah,
Which I think is quite a neat idea, or at the very least, sort of like Supreme Dalek, that kind of thing. Pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, I think for me the highlight is the discussion at the beginning. You know, the do I have the right?
yes,
And even at the end there, you know, the idea of out of the Daleks evil must come something good
yeah,
is
quite profound.
quite profound. Yeah, and you know, the idea that it isn't as black and white as just, oh yeah, well if we stop that, you know, it's like when we were talking about time travel. I don't know if it was the beginning of this episode or in the last episode. The idea of going back and changing things, and it pops into my head of you've got that episode in the Smith era, haven't you? Let's kill Hitler.
Yes,
Like, would you just go back and kill Hitler? And of course, it seems like an obvious thing to do, doesn't it? But actually, despite the atrocities of the Second World War, many things came out of that which probably would never have occurred if that hadn't been the case, you know, and that led to sort of the relative peace the West has enjoyed for sort of however many years. You know, they're not, you know, but it just shows that there's not, you couldn't just say, right, well, if you stop that, then, you know, there's good that has come from it. Out of evil has come good that perhaps wouldn't have arisen if the evil hadn't occurred in the first place. So there's some big ideas in this story, isn't there?
yeah, gets into like big questions of sovereignty and that kind of thing, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
Joseph in the Bible saying,
It's
"What
very
you
like that.
intended for harm, God actually used for good." But it also makes you glad that in a way that power isn't. Yeah, it would probably be bad if that power to go back and change history like that was ever in human hands. Which is kind of what the Doctor's wrestling with at the start. I know he's a Time Lord, but he's a very human character in a lot of ways. Kind of doesn't know everything, and he's kind of like, yeah, I genuinely don't know whether it's right to touch these two contacts together and end the Daleks. And it's interesting how Sarah and Harry are just like egging him on, like, surely it has to be right. And the Doctor's like, oh, I'm not so sure. Yeah, that was such an interesting. And that took the episode from a good episode. That took the story from a good story to a great story, didn't it? In terms of Dalek stories, I don't think any of the Dalek stories we've seen so far have quite. Yeah, the Daleks have been quite one-dimensional in a way, or two-dimensional as characters, quite simple. And here they still are. They're because they're programmed that way. But the Doctor's response to them is far more interesting because it's not just simply "I must defeat them at all costs." Yes, that's kind of what's going on, but he's also wrestling with the deeper questions of the long-term impact.
And some people have said as well that this isn't really, in some ways, this isn't really a Dalek story. It's a Davros story, and the Daleks are very much sort of supporting characters, aren't they? Because they're not fully developed yet. They haven't, they don't really appear. They don't do a huge amount through the whole story, do they? They're often in the background, and then they suddenly appear very much near the end there.
Oh, your camera zoomed out there.
What's going on? Yeah, I think though, I said to you before this started, this is one of those stories that is often in the top 10 or like off. It's been voted one of the greatest classic stories before as well. I think it's topped the polls, and I think as well there's a tendency for some fans to be a bit like, oh, so like cliched to say Genesis of the Daleks is.
It's like saying Citizen Kane is your favourite film. Right.
But then you watch a story and then you sit through 6 episodes of it and you go, well, no, it absolutely deserves its place as one of the top tier episodes of Doctor Who of all time because it is great. You can't. I don't think you can deny it really.
It's always good when stuff lives up to expectations, isn't it? Because I went into watching Breaking Bad and everyone was like, "Oh, this is the best TV show ever made," and I was like, "Yeah, sure. It's not going to be, is it?" And then I watched it and I was like, "Oh yeah, it probably is actually." and yes, sometimes things can be overhyped for you to the point that it's inevitably going to be slightly disappointing, but also like a lot of the time these things get the praise they deserve for good reason. And I think this is an example. Yeah.
And incredible as well to think that this is all in Tom Baker's first season. And to be, Ark in Space. I mean, Robot, we said, is a little bit pedestrian. It's very much a Pertwee story with Tom Baker thrown into it. And then we started to get into sort of Ark in Space, On Time and Experiment, and Genesis of the Daleks. And they're all pretty strong. Ark in Space is generally held quite highly as well. Sometimes Experiment, maybe not as high, but definitely, I think it's a good little story. But Genesis of the Daleks is great. And for them to be churning this out, it's firing on all cylinders, isn't it, really, at the moment?
Yeah, it almost feels like this series has built momentum as it's gone, hasn't it? Like, it almost feels like everything's just in the right place. Great Doctor, great companions. Great writing, taking something we're familiar with, the Daleks. They've already, there was a lot of Dalek mania and stuff, but kind of doing a new, fresh feeling Dalek story. Because people were probably getting a bit sick of them prior to that.
Yeah.
They hadn't been used much, had they, in Pertwee?
Well, Pertwee had them 3 times.
Oh, yeah.
But I think Dalek mania, in the sense of what it was in the 60s, was very much gone.
Right.
There was no one writing songs like "I Want to Spend My Christmas with a Dalek" anymore.
It was kind of like, okay.
You got to remember though, this is when we were watching that kind of stuff, the Hartnell stuff, and those songs. That's sort of 1963, 1964, those early bits, and now we're in 1975. So we're sort of 10, 12 years away from that. So. It's over a decade since that Dalek mania has hit. So to actually take them, they're sort of, I think by this stage, obviously the Daleks are very much in the public consciousness, but to take it and do something very different. I think I said in one of the previous stories that Terry Nation had originally written sort of a very similar retread of previous stories again, and they said it's not good enough. Why don't you do something about the beginning, the genesis of the Daleks? And here we are. So all credit there for actually. Although some people say that Robert Holmes, who I think is the script editor at this stage, so Robert Holmes, writer of Space Pirates and Spearhead from Space and all those ones. Ark in Space as well, maybe.
Hmm.
I think someone said he's script editor at some point. He might be script editor at the moment. So some people say he did a lot of work, even though he might not be credited as the actual writer. Perhaps saved Terry Nation a little bit. I don't know, but either way,
Interesting.
it's a great story, and yeah, I mean it's an all-time classic, really.
Did Pertwee really have three Dalek stories? I
Yeah,
never
because he
got
had
that.
Day of the
Of course.
Daleks, Planet of the Daleks, and Death to the Daleks.
Yes, of course.
Day of the Daleks, of course, is time travel based, isn't it? That's that idea of the guerrillas go back, the guerrilla fighters go back in time to blow up to kill the guy to stop the peace conference or whatever it is, and they create the future. It was Terminator, effectively.
Yeah, yeah, it was, wasn't it?
They
Yeah,
create their own future by going back to try and stop the future.
yeah. That's
So,
interesting. But I guess the Pertwee era was quite long, wasn't it? So it almost, I don't know, just my impression has been that yeah, they've been using the Daleks increasingly sparingly as the show's gone on.
well, yeah, and I mean, certainly at the beginning there was, so what is it? Hartnell had four Dalek stories, did he? Five, if
Hmm.
you include Mission to the Unknown, that one off, which had a Dalek or two in it. Um, Troughton had two.
Hmm.
Pertwee had three. But you're getting, quite regular appearances, But interestingly, I mean, I don't, it's not really a spoiler. I mean, we're now like what, 1975. The show finishes in 89. We've only got four more Dalek stories
Wow.
in the whole of the classic era from now
Really?
on. Yeah.
That's a really weird thought. Yeah.
So,
There's not actually that many. Yeah.
no, so yeah, over the next sort of 14 years,
Yeah.
that's a very sparse number of appearances, really.
Goes to show how sort of influential they are. It's like how in Star Wars the term Ewok is never actually used, but everyone knows what Ewoks are. And
Right, yeah, yeah, yeah. Of
it's
course.
the
Yeah,
same
no,
with
no problem.
Daleks. They haven't actually had a huge amount of screen time across the classic era, but everyone knows what a
Captured the
Dalek is.
imagination. Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
Well, yeah, fascinating. Let us know, peeps, what you've been making of this story. I'd be surprised if anyone's like, I mean, I can understand if some people have had it slightly overhyped for them, but I'd be surprised if someone comments like, this story's rubbish.
Oh, there'd always be one. There'd
Yeah,
always be
yeah.
one. No.
Yeah. It, maybe if Doctor Who began and ended with the Jodie Whittaker era for you,
Yeah, absolutely.
as someone commented
Someone
once.
commented.
But yes, no, yeah, let us know what you think. Do subscribe. Do check out our Discord and Patreon. Links in the description below. And thanks for watching.
Thanks very much. Bye bye.